Okay, guys. Well, welcome to the podcast. This is, again, very much off the cusp. This wasn't structured. I was like, Andrea, let's just have a conversation here. But I wanted to obviously introduce him. I think we could all tell that this is happening in Toronto. So, Andrea, welcome to Toronto, man. How you feeling? Happy to be here?
Very happy.
Happy to see me?
Happy to see you.
Tell the camera the real reason why you're here today.
We came here because I was looking for a job, and I applied for Silver Arrow, but they
denied him.
They denied me because
you didn't have enough experience.
I lack experience, and I don't speak very well the
English
language either.
Yeah.
So yeah,
but it's fine.
I'm gonna try again.
Because I was gonna say, like, we do have a threshold. You usually do 2 or 3 more tries. By the third one, we pretty much.
But I can dance.
That's not gonna fit the requirements. No, unfortunately, not for Silver Arrow. Our standards are quite high. Yeah.
Okay, I could have been a good dancer though.
But dude, pleasure to have you here. I have a few questions. Again, this is very much off the cusp. We didn't structure anything, but this conversation really has to do with what I'm interested about you. Like, these are questions that I've always wanted to ask you. And I think everyone here that knows you, they always see you travel around the world, always busy, always working really hard. You're doing all these crazy haircuts. But I think sometimes what people don't really know is your personal story. So why don't you walk us through a little bit of, and this is my question to you, like because I keep making the mistake, where in Italy were you born, right?
Okay.
And then how did that journey start? Like, how did you get in? I know you were an electrician, you mentioned a few things, but walk me through exactly how you got to this point.
I'll try to make it as fast as possible, even if it's not fast.
Because it'll be 3 hours. Yes.
We're talking about my whole life. Obviously, I focused my whole life on work. Since the young age. I started working at 15.
How old? Okay.
At 15 years old, I started to work with my grandfather. He's an electrician. I mean, he was, obviously.
Right.
Now he's retired. And I used to go with him to build up electric implants, we call it.
Right.
Essentially, the whole house structure before it gets finished up needs all the piping done for the electrics and so on. And I started cutting hair. So in 2008, there was a big global crisis.
Yes.
And I remember one of the things that made me think a lot about work, it was that every teacher in my school would be like, guys, it's going to be hard. There's a crisis going on. It's not going to be easy for you. There's a crisis, there's a crisis, there's a crisis. So since middle high school, let's say.
How old were you at this point?
Between 11 to 13.
Okay. So you're still aware of what's happening in the world at that point in your life?
Correct. And they just kept telling us that we're going to need to work hard. Plus, I come from a very hard-working family.
Right.
So at 15, I started to think what I'm going to do in my life. And I started to try every type of work.
What did you try?
First, electrician. I started cutting hair at 15 in my garden. I would just start picking up people. My friends would be like, you need a haircut. I would just shave everyone off. It was like one all over because it was fashionable, the buzz cut. Back in the days. There was David Beckham.
You would copy football players' styles and try to recreate them on your
Not
friends.
really, just buzz cuts. I couldn't do anything of that.
How much were you charging for those haircuts?
I wasn't charging.
Okay, doing for free.
I would just stop people, I want to cut your hair.
Okay.
Let me do it. I remember once I had to do like, we used to call it doppio taglio, which is the double cut. It means one length.
Holy shit.
And so I used to get the pen, just fucking drag a line all around, then with the Bic, the blue Bic, shave from the line down and then pass number 2. That was a haircut that I used to do.
And I've seen some Italians still have that with the straight heavy line.
They like it.
Yes.
They like it. I mean,
did you ever have that? Be honest.
I had that. I had that kind of style. Yeah, of course. Of course.
You're Italian.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And then electrician, cutting hair. Then I've done that work that I couldn't translate, which is working with metals, like carving metals with machineries. It's like a spinning machine that carves in metals. I've tried that. Basically, you build up machine pieces.
Right.
With
what is the metal used for?
Any aluminium, iron. There's many different type of metals. They actually pick the type of metal, pick the type of point, and they carve in different pieces for big machineries.
And how old were you when you were working in these factories?
15, 16.
So you were doing that plus cutting hair at the same time?
Yeah. I was at school.
School, doing factory work, and cutting hair at the same time?
Cutting hair, yes.
How would you manage all that? Because school would be 10 to 8 usually, no?
In Italy, we do, it depends what age you are at, but you do 8 till 1,
I
8
see.
till 2.
Okay.
In the afternoon, I will be cutting hair on the days off, and on holidays, I will go in factories.
Wow.
Then I've tried
Just for you guys to have context, this is at 15 years old.
15, 16,
So you would go to
17.
school and go right into work and cut hair for your friends.
Yes. I just like to be busy. I've done a lot of silly things as
Yeah.
well. But that's another story.
That's another story, yeah.
Then I tried plumbing, thermohydraulics, let's say eatings in general in the house. Air conditioning, fridges for big supermarkets, fridges, they call it fridges, but it's not the actual fridge. Fridges is the refrigeration implants.
Oh,
you
like in the
fix-
fridge to fix. Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
yes.
a little fridge,
Yes.
but the same system, but they...
Like the cold air or whatever. For
Correct,
like, yeah.
aircon. The
Yeah,
aircon
yeah.
guy, antennas, satellites, I installed that. Then what else I did? I used to be a paper boy. I used to give flyers to
Okay.
people, put in the post box, letter box, all the flyers.
So let me say this. So you've done all these jobs. At what point did you say, fuck all these jobs and I'm gonna do barbering and I'm just gonna go all in into this?
So I wanted to do the barbering school, and this was at 16.
Okay.
I actually started to talk about barbering school when I was 14 at my family, but they all told me not to do it because it's a bad school. It is actually
Well, there
not.
was a school in Italy.
There
that
is
you were-
schools in Italy. So
Okay.
to open a store in Italy, you need to study barbering, hairdressing in
Sure.
general. There's no difference for 4 years. Then you can open a store. If not, you cannot. You have to take another way.
I see. Interesting.
You have to be an apprentice.
So you had
for-
to do school regardless if you wanted to do barbering.
Correct. And my family was like, no, that's a bad job. It's not good for you. You're not going to make money. You stand up all day. I was like, okay. And I started to study other things. First, chemistry.
Okay.
I've done 2 years of chemistry. Really liked it, but it wasn't my thing. And biology, because the dream of my grandma would be that I'm a doctor. So she was like, you can start from there and then maybe you can go into medicine. But
Right.
never happened, obviously. And and then I didn't like it, and there was a lot to study. I didn't want to study, so I started to take the mechanic route, and I studied something called industrial maintenance. So essentially, the guy that fixes big machineries. You have to understand the background of where I am from. Milano, it's one of the most factory developed area of Europe. Let's say there's industries all around. It's all only industries. You take a car, you drive outside Milano for half an hour.
It's factories.
You just see factories. Pop, pop, pop.
So
pop,
getting
pop, pop.
transitioning to that role is easy because everyone's probably doing it already. That's kind
My
of
dad does it.
Right. Everyone in Milan is kind of doing something similar to that.
Not everyone, but there's a lot.
Right. There's a lot of
Yeah.
opportunity to get into that career.
Correct.
Yes.
So with the fear of being without a job.
Because everyone's concept is like factory work is like how you make money.
Exactly. It's a safe job.
Yes.
It allows you to do a lot of things.
Okay. So what did you end up going to school?
I finished. I have, we call it diploma.
Certificate, yes.
Yeah, I'm certificate.
So you got your certificate. Now your family's like, holy shit, I can't believe he's not working in the
Actually,
factories.
there's way more through that. I was working, because at 17 I started living by myself and I finished my study at 20. So in the meantime, I started to make barbering a job. So I didn't just finish and go. I started charge at 17 my haircuts from €5.
Okay, so at 17 now you're making money from
At
barbering.
17 I started to actually work.
Did you have a clientele? I guess all your friends, right?
Friends recommends friends.
And are you working at a shop or is this from your house?
No, from my house, or I was driving to their
Okay.
houses.
Cool. So Andrea at 17, let's give him back, let's go back, right?
So Andrea at 17 was working in a coffee store during the night.
School's done at this point.
School in the morning, cuts in the afternoon, coffee store at night. That was
Wow.
my coffee. I say coffee store, but they were doing like little appetizers. It was like a restaurant / coffee store. Then I upgraded to a massive restaurant. It was like 700 seats, and I was working every night from the age of 18 till my 20s, so 2 years and a half. Nighttime. On Sunday, I was doing double shift, so from the morning till the night. School Monday to Friday, and in the afternoon, only cutting hair.
Okay, so this is where it gets interesting. Obviously, everyone that's probably watching this knows you as the individual that's traveling around the world, the individual that's very talented, the individual that has a lot of authority in the industry. I mean, I travel around the world and I always ask people, who inspires you? Your name gets brought up every single time.
Thank you.
How do we get to that point, right? Like, okay, we understand you're very hardworking. We understand that you finished school, you're in Milan at 17, 18 years old, you're working all these jobs, but how does someone go from that to that, right? Like, how does that happen? What do you think had to happen in your life for you to get to that point?
Okay, I don't know if it was the same for you, so I will be asking the same question to you back. I never actually thought I would do that.
Which part?
Traveling. That wasn't ever
A
the
plan.
So the changing point for me in my career, obviously I moved to London. I started working for a barbershop. He's my partner in London today. He was my boss, my first real boss in barbering. It was him.
It's your partner today,
Yes,
your boss, your initial boss.
Yes, correct, in London. And obviously there's 10 years here to talk about.
So 17, because you're, how old?
No, 20
Okay, 20. You're
From
20 to 30.
to 30. That's where I was in London. And
So you moved to London. Okay, so people don't know this. Now you're in London at 20 years old.
I finished my school at July. At August, I was in London working for a barbershop. That's what happened. I go to London, I arrive, and I didn't speak English. I was like, nice to meet you, Andrea. Cut. One cut now? Good. I'll start just doing my thing, and I do a couple of days of work. The guy goes, of all the haircuts you've done, I've like none. I was like, what none means? I was like, sorry.
No good.
What? None. I was like, what? He goes, zero. Fuck all.
Yeah.
He goes, un cazzo, which means a
Shit.
dick. Shit is an Italian thing.
Like, this is a shit haircut.
No, like I didn't like shit.
Any of them. Okay, yeah.
And I was sleeping in there. I slept in the barber
But
shop.
here's the thing. If a kid comes to my shop and asks to work for me and then asks to sleep at my place, a very small amount of people would say yes. Why did they allow you to sleep at their place?
Because he really needed a worker.
Okay.
And I was really hungry of cutting hair in a barber shop.
So he saw the passion and gave you an opportunity.
I guess he really saw that I really wanted to learn. And yeah, I slept there. It was like a hatch on the top of the barber
So let me
shop.
ask you this. You didn't never did you think you had a plan to travel and teach? That at this point at 20 years old, you didn't think I'm gonna become an educator, global teaching around
Zero.
the world, right? What did you think was gonna happen? What was the plan and the goal back then?
So I just wanted to be good at cutting hair at that moment. I didn't have a plan. I was 20. Like I imagined myself opening stores. I imagined myself being more in control of my life, economically speaking, and being more of an entrepreneur, so if I can use that word. But I didn't think how yet. I didn't know how yet. I just thought, okay, I'm lacking at this. If I want to be in this industry, I've got to learn how to cut hair. I've got to be good at cutting hair.
Right.
So I just started working 70 hours a week in that shop I was working. 60
So
to
all
70.
the hours you put between 3 jobs, you just applied that into one.
All day, all
Yeah.
night. All day, all night. Over there. 9 till 9. Every day working there.
Cutting, would you have haircuts all day, every day?
All day. We were at 13
Walk-in
pounds.
shop, probably?
Walk-in shop.
Yeah.
And obviously it
How
wasn't
much
like
were you charging back then?
13 pounds.
13 pounds.
Yeah.
So you're looking at 22, maybe let's say 18 US.
Yeah,
22
but it was
Canadian.
very low. It was
Yeah.
very low.
So living in the barbershop, what was that like?
I've done it for 5 years. Of
You
my
lived
life.
there for 5 years.
Not there. I've lived in different barbershops.
This is what I want to know.
So the first barbershop, it was a hatch on the roof because I arrived in London with 200 euros. I had
Well, the
4
first
months.
barbershop you slept at was in London or in Italy?
London.
Okay, so the first one was in London.
I arrived to London, 200 euros, 4 notes of 50 euro.
That's all you had?
That's all I had.
How did you get to London?
I booked a ticket and that was left.
That's all.
It was left.
Was no plan.
I just had to go there and work.
But did you know you were gonna, let's say before you went to London, did you know you were gonna go up to that barbershop
Yes.
and ask for a job?
Facebook advert.
So you already had the opportunity before you got there?
That's why I went.
Okay.
On Facebook,
You
it came up
messaged
an
them,
ad.
hey, I'm looking for a job. They said, sure, come. You flew, took the
1
flight.
week I was there.
Because here's the thing, if they told you no there, you would have been fucked.
Yeah,
Technically.
correct.
Yeah.
But I was 20, I didn't give a
You
fuck.
didn't shit.
Slept in the hatch. There was 1.20 m, the top height. It's like 100 the arches of the train. It was, now it's closed. So top height, it was 1.20 m on the arch. There was a mattress in the corner. There was a light hanging, you know, the lights of the mines, like,
Yeah.
like that. No airflow, nothing. I just slept
How did
there.
you get to the hatch?
You just bring down the stair.
Oh, wow.
You know, the
Yes.
hatch on top, you just bring it
And
down.
then you go, ba, 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 ba.
You go up.
And it's a small area.
Very small, 120. I was just sleeping
You got
there.
to like crawl to get in.
The barbershop didn't have a toilet inside as well. So I had to do my things either after work because during work time, there was an external toilet that was open to the public.
External, what do you mean?
You had to go out of the barbershop, do the lap of the building, and go behind.
Wow.
So during London,
Where in London?
Southwark, it's near London Bridge.
Okay.
It's actually London
On
Bridge
London
area,
Bridge, yeah. Okay.
So after 7, if I had to go to the toilet, either I had to go to the pub, which I don't recommend, or just the sink if you have to pee.
Wow.
And if it's solid, I used to use bin bags.
Wow.
Yeah, bin bags, just wrap it up and throw it in the
Where
bag.
would you throw it? Just...
In the bin. Outside of the store,
yeah,
there
yeah.
was bins, just throw it in there.
And how long were you living there for?
So I stayed there a few months, no more than a few months. Then I took a flat, I stayed in London 1 year, then I moved back to Milano, tried to live in Milano again.
So you went back to Milan?
I went back
Why?
to Milano 1 year. I wasn't happy in London.
Okay.
I burned out completely.
How long you were there before you moved back?
1 year and a half.
Okay.
Then
How old were you at this point?
22.
22?
22.
Okay.
At 22, I moved back to
Milan.
Well, a couple of months later, moved back to Milano, and I go to work for the company of my dreams, which it was Bullfrog. Probably you never heard of it. In Italy, it was very big. It was the company of my dream. I go there, but it was very settled. Like it
Structured, corporate.
let's say so. Like very 40 hours a week, which it was for me a part-time.
But you couldn't do more.
You couldn't do more. Sometimes they would give you an extra, but that was it. The wage was very low, 1,134 euros a month. It was low. For Milano, it's low. Plus, you can get a bonus if you've done a lot of haircuts. You will get a little percentage
But that wasn't going to
more.
change much.
My top wage
Earning month.
was 1,400 a month.
And that's probably
with extra time, like some extra days of
Yeah.
work.
So it wasn't enough.
Nighttime, I used to go home and cut hair to my clients.
But at this point, when you're back in Milan, you're not living in the barbershop. You're back with your family,
I'm
let's
back
say.
with my family. With my flat, because I don't know. My dad moved out of my house at my 17,
Okay.
and I stay with the flat that I inherited it from my mom.
I see.
My mom passed away. She left the house to me and my sister. My dad splits the house. My sister makes her life, and me, I had to live with my dad. My dad meets another woman, and we decided it was a very clean thing, not because we argued
There's no
or anything.
animosity, yeah.
Just I didn't want to live with this other person. She's fantastic. I love her. It's just I was still a bit
Hurt because of your mom.
because
right?
of my mom, and I didn't want to mix things, and
Yes.
I was like, Dad, don't
I
worry.
need to be on my own. Yeah.
I'll do it myself. I can do it. Just go. I wanted my dad to be happy as well, to start something new.
His life, yeah.
So I took it myself there.
Right.
So I had my flat, and obviously I didn't pay the rent. That was good. But the normal
Still,
expenses.
yeah.
I was a student anyway. So
You still have to eat, and there was
That's
not
why the
much
work-
left at the end, right?
no, nothing left.
Nothing left at the end.
Literally nothing.
Especially at 22, probably going out and seeing
That
friends.
was 17.
Wow.
22, I came back. That was a good age because I had some money saved from London.
From London, yeah.
And because the only thing I did was work. So then I come back in Milano, I stay 1 year. I'm unhappy. I'm unhappy because I don't see growth. I tried to do something more, but I felt like in the company they didn't like me doing extra. I was stocking all the products of the store. I created an Excel sheet to make orders. I will make orders for the barbershop. I really wanted to show my worth, and I felt that it wasn't
Reciprocated. It wasn't given back.
Yeah.
They didn't want to grow the same level and quick and speed that you were trying to grow.
They wanted me to cut hair.
Yeah.
That's what
They
I've been
wanted
told
you to
many
be a
times.
worker.
And
that's
also
it.
the other workers, I had some issues with some colleagues. Not all of them, but some colleagues, they didn't like me, I believe. They were like, you're doing too much. You put us in a bad spot.
Okay, so it's interesting. 17, you've worked your whole life, you worked very hard. You would think by 16, from where you started working up to 22, you would have a lot of success because of how hard you work, but that didn't happen. You're back
Terrible.
in Milan and it feels like you're already back from where you started. Nothing really changed.
My car was worth 500 euros.
There we go. Nothing's changed. Your income hasn't grown that much. You probably don't have that much saved. Like, how do you still keep going at that point? You've put in so much work in your career. Like, why not give up? You've done this for so long. How do you go from that to where you're at now?
That's a good question. It's just I never felt like I always knew that I had to, sooner or later, I would be able to build up what I wanted to.
Did your dream change at that point, though? At 22 now, you're going back to Milan, back from where you started. Do you still feel like, do you want to be an educator at this point, or you still have the goal of just being a better barber?
I just wanted to open my store.
Okay, so at
in
this point
Milan.
you want to...
Settle. I wanted to settle.
Why settle now?
Because I've done my experience. I wanted to live in Milano with my family. I'm a family guy. Like, I like my family.
Right. But that didn't happen.
That didn't happen. No. I had a heartbreak as well. That's when I left and I lived in Miami for a bit.
Wow. So a girlfriend broke your heart,
We broke up
which is the best thing that could ever happen to a man.
sometimes.
Sometimes. Yeah.
So I moved to Miami. I had a job offer there because I was quite good. I wasn't the best, of course. I'm not the best either now. We're never the best. But I was quite
You
good.
were better. Yeah.
And I
way
spoke
better.
English. So a lot of people enjoyed the fact that I was bilingual and they will approach me at work. It was central Milano, so a lot of foreigners. One of them is Miami. So moved to Miami. I had to be there, visa denied, can't go back. And that's where I go back to London and officially haven't left since, which is 2018.
So you go to Miami for fun,
No, for work.
for work, but you enjoyed yourself. You still had a lot of fun being there, no?
No way.
It was all for work.
All for work.
Okay.
Because I went there, again, no money, and I had to, let's say Miami.
You tried what you did in London, but you're like, let me try it in Miami. Yeah.
Yeah. So I took a bike and I was cycling at work. Now, in Miami, cycling at work, it's like 50 minutes under the fucking Florida sun. I will come to work, shower in the morning, arrive to work,
Drenched. Yeah.
completely. So go in the sink of the toilet, just wash myself. I'm a bit
Yeah.
of a gypsy in that kind
Yeah,
of stuff. Just wash myself.
Yeah.
Take a shampoo from my colleagues and start to work. And it took me 2 months to buy a moped because it was the cheapest thing I could
You
find.
could buy, yeah.
I buy a moped, which in Florida is not really recommended. There's cars with 8 wheels.
Dangerous. Yeah.
And you're like,
Yeah.
you know, not good, but I could go to work. So good. Get my moped, go to work, build up my clientele. When I started to see some money, my visa got denied, I never go back.
Okay.
I left everything there. So I come back to Milano, I'm back to zero. I have no money,
Again.
zero. I'm in Milano.
How old? 23.
I am, it's 2018 now. So it's 2018 now, yes. So I was
23 or 24?
24. I was
Wow.
24. So again, I'm ground zero. I'm like, what I'm gonna do? Miami is not happening. So I go to London to get some money back to rebuild my wealth. It was still in Europe, in the European Union. So I could still
Right.
go back. I just go back to the barbershop, another one. And I'm sleeping in the barbershop. This time there was the toilet.
You're sleeping in the barbershop again now.
Again, yeah. I go back to save money, right? I don't pay
Because you
rent,
have
I
nothing.
save money.
Nothing, yeah.
So I start saving up money, sleep in the barbershop. I like the situation. So I go to my ex-boss, now partner, and I'm like, look, if we open a shop together, I'll stay in London. And as I said it, we've done it.
And how long after?
We opened after 1 year.
After a year, you open your shop, which is called?
Raven Barber.
That's the shop.
That's the
right.
shop.
Raven Barber.
February 2019, we opened Raven Barbers.
Right.
Now, we opened Raven
Right
Barbers.
before COVID.
Right before COVID. So I got fucked.
Yeah.
So I had a big debt because I didn't have money.
So he opened it based on his own money, and then it was like something that you owed him. How did that work?
He landed me some money,
Right.
and I had to give it. Let's say we overspent.
Right,
We went
yes.
over budget. The building.
But
was
you
really
had a
bad.
big dream. You're like, I'm gonna open this barbershop.
do
It's
it.
been my dream. I want to do it, and you did it.
I'm ready to die
At this
for
point, this is a very important question. Did Andrea Amighetti have 100,000 followers? Did he be on
it.
Instagram?
No, 1,000 followers.
So
maybe.
1,000 followers, but you have the barbershop.
I have the barbershop.
But a big dream, and you were working hard. That's your leverage. You were fucking going all in into this one thing.
But that was a smack in the face.
Why?
Because I stayed there. I was full of debts, sleeping again in my barbershop.
But you had a toilet.
I had a toilet and a shower. Because I used to shower in the gym. Don't forget that I showered in
Right,
the gym.
right.
So I have the barbershop. I have a shower because we installed a shower. That's fucking amazing for me. It was like, wow,
You're dreaming.
I can shower anytime I want.
Yeah. No more
And,
bins. No more bins to throw
No
your
more
shit away.
bins. And everything looked good, but the barbershop wasn't working.
In what sense?
We weren't busy. Nobody knew me because we moved to a new area and it was a new shop.
Where is the shop?
Warren Street is on Tottenham Court Road, not far from Oxford Street.
Okay. Yeah.
It's like 5 minutes, 10 minutes walk from Oxford Street.
Yeah.
And the barbershop wasn't busy. It took me a year to make it.
Were you by yourself in the shop, or your business partner was also working?
No,
in
it was more like an investor.
that? Okay, so you were by yourself in that
Me
shop.
and we employed another guy.
So you found another guy, 2 barbers now working in the shop, but
Yes.
dead.
Dead. I used to have my Saturdays. I used to be like this all day. I wouldn't sit because I was scared people would think that
You're
I'm
not busy.
hanging around.
Yeah.
I would be standing up like this at the desk,
With a
for
smile.
10 hours. One client, maybe two if it was a good Saturday, for 6 months. Every Saturday like this. And I was like sweating. I was like, oh, how am I gonna fucking do that? After 1 year, we start to get busy. We employed a third barber. Now we are finally.
Okay, but how did you get busy? How did you
Oh,
get busy?
yeah, it was complicated, bro. It was a lot of passion in serving. A lot of.
What do you think got you busier though? I don't think standing all day and smiling at people is what got you busy, right?
Of course, I'm a servant. I can be the best servant you can possibly.
It's the service. So one client you cut brought you two clients? Is that the...
Correct. I'll be extremely polite and I will make sure 100% you come out happy. Not like, oh, I want to be the coolest, but what do you want? I'm going to make your money worth it. Anything you like, I'm going to do it exactly as you want it. Is that okay? It's not okay? I'm going to do it until it's okay. You don't like it? Please, I can't take your money, but come back.
Right.
That's how I would do it.
Pure service.
Pure service.
That's all you cared about.
Yes.
Making sure they left extremely happy, not just happy.
Still today we have 1,000 reviews. We're 5-star rated on Google.
Wow.
Yeah, so something good we've been doing.
done, yeah.
We had 1-star reviews in the history of the shop, but very little.
Yes. I mean,
Like
out of 1,000...
5 maybe, something like that. So it's really great. And now we have 6 barbers working there. So when we get busy and I start to see that it's working, and that was the real change in my life, COVID happens. And I thought that I've made it. I'm free. Because for me, it was like escaping slavery. Believe it or not. In my brain, I thought I'm escaping slavery. I want to be financially free or at least in control of my time.
Right.
And then I finally start to taste that busyness that, okay, we're making some money. COVID hits. Central London becomes
Dead.
a dead town. a
But
zombie
at this
town.
point, do we have followers on Instagram?
No.
Still nothing.
0.
No one knows Amighetti. No one knows Amighetti. They know Amighetti now. Nobody.
No, nothing. And again, I'm in the barbershop sleeping at the moment, right? To save
During
rent.
COVID. So now everything's shut down. You're still sleeping
I'm sleeping in the barbershop. I slept in the barbershop for like 4 years.
in that barbershop.
In that barbershop, yeah.
So now what happens? COVID.
COVID hits and I'm in the barbershop sleeping and I cannot sleep. I cannot sleep. I am getting eaten inside by the thought that I cannot keep this going. I cannot pay the rent. I cannot do this. My partner, I owe him a lot of money and I cannot sleep. One night at week, I'll pass it completely sleepless. At least one night a week, I'll just be awake like this all night
By
long,
yourself.
thinking, how the fuck I'm gonna do this? And that it hit me when I saw Barber Josh, Charlie Gray, Gianni Scumaci doing online academies. I was like, wait, those guys are fucking making money while I'm sleeping in the barbershop? I was like, what a loser. I gotta do it as well. And I think I was decently skilled. I wasn't good maybe as I can be better now, right? But I was decently skilled. I knew something, okay? So I was like, I want to be, so I took a piece of paper, right? I took a piece of paper.
But you don't have followers at this point.
0.
But you know you want to do online academy.
Yes, that's how we started.
Interesting.
So I take a piece of paper and I write, what is my purpose? That's when everything clicked. And I was like, what I wrote on this paper, it was, I want to be recognized from all the barbers in the industry because I don't want to be forgotten. You understood?
yes.
I don't want people to forget about me ever again.
Right.
Because I was like forgotten by God. I was in the fucking basement with
Yes.
no
Nobody
windows.
knew where you were. Nobody knew who you were.
I was
You were
a
nobody.
rat. I was a rat.
Yes.
Sleeping
Yeah.
in the basement. That's what I was. Like, never again. I wrote that and I started to post content. I started to get dolls. I tried, first content was terrible, but I was like, I want people to get to know me. And I tried all I could. And I was telling my friends and people were like, they couldn't catch it. Not because they're stupid or anything, because they weren't living what I was living. I was like, by the end of the year, I'm gonna be selling my online academy. They're like, what, you? Teaching? What? Like, yes, I'm gonna be doing that. That's how it started. And I just hit the target as much as I could. My first 10,000 followers, I thanked them personally. I would send them a message. Thank you for following me.
Wow.
The first 10,000 people. I still have people coming to my courses that were like, I was one of the first few followers. Did you receive the message? Yes, I have it here. Thank you
Wow.
for following me. Yes, the first 10,000 people.
Personally, you would send it. It wasn't an automation. It was nothing
No,
like that.
I didn't have money to pay rent, imagine.
So just to understand, everyone does automation. Some of you guys have gotten messages by me. This was all purely you personally being like
Yes.
thanking these people individually.
I was obsessed. Like,
Pure
I wasn't
obsession.
doing anything else. Monday till Saturday, cutting in the store. Sunday, shooting all day. Nighttime after work, instead of, I don't know, watching TV, phone in my hand, answering all the comments, coming back. Every like that I would get, I'll go back to their page, search for a good haircut, like their haircut, commented, send them a message. Pure interaction and sincere interaction.
I mean, it's fascinating because as I hear this story, I truly think of one thing. It's like, what is people's excuses, right? I mean, you come from a country that you went to a city that you didn't even speak the language. You literally didn't have house, you didn't have money, and you were able to build something from absolutely nothing. It was all hard work, and you've led to becoming an educator and traveling around the world.
Well, thank you for the punctualizations.
Yes.
I think I came from a good family, so
Yeah.
I wasn't. I didn't. It's not true that I didn't have anything. Like I had a very good upbringing and
For
good
sure.
solid basis. A lot of people even misses that. So I can be only proud of what they gave me.
Yes.
And obviously, of course, what I built it, I've done
Yes.
it myself.
Right.
I agree. And it wasn't easy.
But the foundation started from your family.
yes. I have a decent family, like
Yeah.
proper decent.
Cool, man. So at this point, you are thinking of opening the online academy, but you haven't gone to this point. You're gaining the followers. You have 10,000 followers. COVID is
I
still
reached
happening.
50,000 in 1 year.
Okay, so you reached 50,000 followers. At this point, a year later, do you have the academy or not yet?
No. So that's when it happened. It hit me.
So let's fast forward now. You have 50,000 followers. The education and traveling and being this,
That's when it starts.
that's when it starts.
So I started to get called in places. Do you teach? And I
Did you ask or did you get called for?
got called. Yeah.
So you didn't go out of your way being like, hey, I'm teaching and I'm an educator. Can I
I didn't even
think of that?
knew about that.
Right.
Like I didn't even.
But here's the thing, a lot of people, because I'm in this world as well, right? A lot of people have the fear of becoming educators. A lot of people have a lot of followers, but they're not educators. They want to be. Were you not scared to become an educator? Did that not ever like fear you of like, holy shit, I got to present in front of people, teach in front of people?
I'm very bold.
You got
like
balls.
bold. Like
Yes.
I'm full of courage.
Right.
I don't get scared like about these things. I just go. I do my best. That's I think what you're talking about. It's insecurity. What we were talking earlier in the
Yes.
car as well is when you don't believe enough in yourself.
Yes.
And I tell you what, I don't care if it doesn't work. I don't care. I can present myself in front of 500 people. They might not like me. Did I do good? If the answer is yes,
Then you don't
well
care
done.
the outcome.
If I didn't do well, I won't be happy.
But I
I will
learned.
take it as a lesson.
Yes.
I don't care about failing. That's why I went on stage, and I remember the first stage I've done, it was in Napoli. It was my first stage.
Yeah.
I went there, people were, I was full of energy. I was fucking exploding
Oh,
of
yeah.
energy. And people were like clapping. I was like, amazing, how long you been doing this? I was like, this is the first time. I was like, what do you mean it's the first time? I was like, this is my first time. They were like, nah. I was like, yeah, it's my first time. And I loved it. And it was nice because people were happy. And I gave some value. And that's what fulfilled me. Is that I'm giving value. It's not just you pay me and I'm like
Talking and
I'm
laughing,
taking,
yeah.
You fuck you, I took your money, you piece of shit. No, I'm just like, I'm gonna give you my best, whatever I can. Maybe you won't like it as much. Well, I can't solve that. That's your problem.
Yeah.
My problem is to do my best.
To give value. The only thing you care about is to give enough value where they learn something from it.
I'm gonna give my value.
And if you did that, then you did your job. That's the only thing you care about.
Yeah, roughly. I mean, of course, I get worried about people's happiness as well. I'm trying to.
But what do you mean by that when you say you care about people's happiness? What does that mean specifically?
If someone is unhappy about my service, I will look after the reason why. I'm not just gonna be like,
So
oh, fuck him.
You're on stage though in front of 500 people and you see certain people not being happy. Let's say, right? What do?
I invite you to go on my YouTube channel. There's an event we've done in Romania that James took a shot of a moment where a guy didn't like my haircut. So I asked, what do you think about this haircut? I brought a mod. It was quite creative with pointy. It was very creative, very different and easy not to like.
Right.
Right? It was very particular. And someone goes, no, I don't like it. I was like, what do you think? Do you like it? And someone, no. I was like, okay, come here. Why you don't like it? I'm open to, and I didn't do it because I'm an arrogant or a cocky bastard.
You're open to criticism.
I want to know, like, tell everyone, and let's understand each other, and maybe I can show you why I'm doing something that you don't like and how it could be beneficial. Like, let's talk.
Yeah.
Then the guy didn't really fulfill what I was hoping to find. So the conversation didn't go really far. They actually start arguing my model with him in Romanian. I was like, oh, okay. So I just closed the conversation. But yeah, I'm open to criticism. I don't mind. Actually,
I love how you just said something that's very powerful. You took a bad situation and tried to flip it. Instead of making the situation worse by maybe like deflecting it and pretending that he didn't say that, which most probably people would do, or reacting in a way is like, that's your opinion, or like just reacting in a way where you don't agree with it. You were open and you invited them to have a conversation. And I think that's super powerful. It's like the same as like if you're on stage, how do you act if, let's say, you fuck up? Do you pretend that no one saw it and you just like do something about it? Or are you open and being like, hey guys, I messed up. Let's see how I can fix this situation.
Depends how you mess up, because if you chop someone's ears off, there's no much to there's no much to fix.
Doctors. But let's just say,
stitches.
Let's say you got a number 3 to the head and you weren't supposed to, and a skin fade happens, or like you know, the guard comes off. How do you react on stage?
I would probably say, hey, I'm human,
Yeah.
I've done a mistake, let's see how to fix it.
Exactly.
It never happened to me, and I know one of my favorite barbers, which I'm not going to mention, but it happened to him once on stage. He was telling me in confidence, so I'm not just going to mention his name.
Right.
And it literally happens to him, and he transformed the haircut with a crazy fade. It was like a shag, and he fucked up, and he transformed the haircut, and people would start
Ovation.
standing up. And I was like, wow, because the haircut was sick after.
Wow.
You know, it's I think it's
such a powerful moment.
Yeah. Being able to,
because it shows you're human, but it also shows like you have such confidence and ability to just look at a situation and turn it into something positive.
nobody likes perfection.
Nobody likes perfection. Nobody
likes
and it's not human, because perfection is not real.
It's fake.
Exactly.
It's fake. So it's better to be real.
So look, dude, I think this is an incredible story up to now. I still want to know, how do you get to travel around the world? And
so it's funny, but again, I didn't choose it.
this just came.
It just came, and I took advantage of the situation, and I just.
One after another, just one
Yeah.
opportunity led to 2, led to 3, led to 4.
They start calling me from all around
How
the
many
world.
countries have you been to up to now?
25.
Within a 2-year, 3-year?
Start at 4 to 5 years.
Wow.
4 to 5.
22
I think
countries
it's
in 4 to 5 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
25 plus. It's roughly 25.
That's a lot of countries. my
25, 26, maybe 24. I should calculate it exactly.
Yeah.
But
Well,
for
you were
instance-
telling me you're very inspired with geography. You were telling me this is
Yes.
where Chile is, Argentina's here, that you know exactly
I love geography.
Yes. What countries haven't been to and that you want to visit?
Oof, there's so many. It's more the ones that I haven't been to yet that I want to be.
Right.
The
Which
ones
ones?
I've been.
Yeah, exactly.
The
Which
whole
one?
South America.
You haven't been yet.
Because of the prices, I haven't been able to visit South America properly.
What do you mean by that?
When I do an event, obviously I have prices, and there's a reason why. Some people might think it's crazy, or some people
like a
might,
price to get
Yeah.
you as to come.
Yeah,
Right.
some people
yes.
might not like it, and that's not something that I can do anything with.
Right.
My time has a price. You
Of
know
course,
very
you
well.
know your value. Yes.
And not only about the value, it's about as well, and I'm sure you can agree with that. If I can make enough money staying at my flat, doing my things, staying with my wife, enjoying a good time and a good dinner with my friends.
You're happy.
And I'm happy. Why the fuck do I need to cross the world to go there and stress myself out, get jet lagged, work hard, come back, I have less money, I didn't visit what I wanted to visit, I didn't do
True.
what I wanted to do, I just served
You had
someone.
an agenda, you served, and you came back with less money.
So then I just stay home.
Yeah.
It's not because, oh, I'm greedy, I need money. No, it's just a clear fact. I have a weekend.
You know what you want. You know
Yeah.
you know what you want.
I have
Yes.
a weekend. I can use it either to enjoy my life, or I need to really work hard because it's a job. People think we go. Sometimes my client, they go, "Ah, you're always on holiday." I say, "Fuck the holidays. I don't go on holiday."
Yeah.
Like
Well, I
I'm
get
going
that
to
all the
work.
time. They think that It's like they think traveling is like this thing that it's like fun. I mean, it is to some degree, but what people don't realize is most of the time you spend is on a plane and in the classes. It's like straight from plane to class, right? So
I just came back from Sicily. I've done an event in Sicily, which is a place where I do a lot of events. Italy is my biggest place. As I was saying yesterday, as an Italian that is living abroad, I come back to Italy, people really like me going there. So I've done loads of events. I go to Sicily, I land on Saturday night, Sunday, Monday I do the event, Tuesday morning I leave. I didn't leave the hotel.
Wow. Right,
I'm
back
in
to
Sicily, right? It's a place where everybody goes on holidays. If I tell you I went on Sicily, you're like, oh, fucking lucky bastard. I haven't left the hotel. The hotel is 2 minutes far from the airport. The event was in the hotel.
So you didn't even know what Sicily, you didn't even see Sicily.
I didn't see, I saw the hotel, the airport,
yeah.
and the road from one to the other.
And the interesting part is that's usually my events as well, right?
So,
because even if you have a few hours by the end of it, you're so exhausted because you did the class, you're just like, I'm gonna sleep and go back. Okay, cool. Funny question. What is the craziest event in the countries you've been? Like, if there's one moment, what's one moment that you could think of that was like the craziest experience or craziest moment in one of the countries that you traveled to?
When I went running in the Romanian mountains and I fucking met bears.
What? You met bears?
I have a big fear for bears.
Okay.
Like there's.
You were running. Wait. So
barber camp in Romania.
Yes.
Okay, I go to barber camp and I'm like, oh, beautiful mountains. I like nature. Beautiful mountains. Like, you have bears here. Romanians, they have historically a culture of the dancing bears. They used to hang them from the
I didn't know that.
From the ring.
Okay.
There's a big culture. Like even Russia, it's got something like that. Anyway, I know Romania has a lot of bears. And I asked the organizer, there's bears? He goes, no, not here. Like, no. I was like, okay, then I can go to visit up. So barber camp, they're playing football. I don't like football.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
that's interesting for an Italian.
I never did.
Yeah.
So I take a moment, I go for a run, and I start running up in the mountains. Amazing. I run and I've seen some beautiful sceneries. It was amazing in the forest. Fantastic. Then I just, and I start pissing. I'm in the middle of nowhere. And then I look down, there was 2 bears. Big fucking
Like, how
bears.
close were you talking?
I don't know, like
From
10 meters.
10 meters.
Maybe less. I was
So
up in the hill,
Henry's
the bears were here, I was pissing, and I looked down, and there's bears eating something. So I just, literally, I don't even know if I finished pissing or not, but you shouldn't be doing that, by the way.
You don't run it.
I fucking flight at home, like.
How fast?
I have no idea, but I ran the fastest I could.
In your life? Yes.
The fastest I could.
So
2 bears in the middle of nowhere, like, if they're hungry or they have
you're
babies.
Finished.
They climb better than you, they run faster than you.
You're done.
You're gonna die.
Yeah.
So I just my brain, I didn't even get scared in the moment. Just my brain went autopilot. I was cold, very cold. Just.
You didn't even have time to think.
I got scared after. When I reached the road, and I was very far, I started to shake. I was like, oh man, fuck, I fucking almost crossed bears. Because if you run, essentially I was gonna run there, I just stopped to piss. If I was gonna run in front of them, most likely, because of their instinct of hunting, they would have attacked me. Most likely.
And you think if that would have happened, you would have been done, for sure?
100%.
Because you were far from people.
I was in the mountain. Yeah, that was the craziest shit happened to me.
Crazy. Yeah. Okay, so talk to us now. Who is Andrea Amighetti now? What is Andrea Amighetti now used to?
I want to know you.
What do you want to know about me?
Yeah, no, as I said, I want to know how did you start and how did you build up. To be honest, I know a bit your story. I watch a lot of stuff. I watched you at Hairfest. I watched you many times. I watch your stuff. I like to know what you do and who you are. I know that you tried really hard. Your first haircuts, you didn't like it. You weren't busy. I follow you. I know a bit. But when the change happened, what was the biggest switch? And how did you start to actually become an educator?
Yeah.
And not anymore just a barbershop in the salon? When you decide that was the road to take?
It's interesting. I feel like I always wanted to become an educator.
And before you continue, don't lose your train of thoughts. When you've done this switch, right? Was that your dream or it just happened to be. And another thing Tad was saying about this, you are really good at splitting things, like you know when to let go something, and he was very proud
I
of it.
think I'm learning how to do it better. Yes.
So-
I don't think you ever 100% know. You know what I mean? You'll never 100% know what's right from what's wrong. Never you will know 100%. But I think I'm getting better at understanding what's more important for me and what I need to spend more time on. But to answer your question, I feel like a little bit different than you. I feel like I wanted to be an educator for a very long time. Reason why is because naturally I'm an introvert. I always say this. When I was in school, when I was in classes, when there was projects, I would always shy away from them. When there was a project, I literally wouldn't show up to class. Anytime there was a day where I had to do a project, I wasn't there. But what was interesting about that is that I never liked that about me. I didn't like the fact that I was shy, I was an introvert. That's who I am naturally. The reason why I wanted to become an educator is when I started seeing other people my age become educators, I was like, I could use this as an outlet to talk about something that I'm passionate about. So I felt like that was something that I wanted to work on, and the best way to do it is using hair as the vehicle to do it. You know what I'm saying? Because I was passionate about hair. I didn't want to talk and be on stage about nothing or anything random. I wanted to do it about hair, and I could use that as like the thing to talk about. So yeah.
But wait, did you know that hair was your thing?
Yes, for a very long time.
So
since I was 14.
Okay.
I would watch YouTube
Same.
videos, hair
Same.
products, you name it. I was always like buying products. I would go to a salon, pay $100 for a haircut when I had $200. Right, I would spend the most amount on my haircuts when I had no money. So I was always passionate about it. I had a fashion clothing line at 14, 15.
Okay.
So I was an entrepreneur, you could say that as well, at a very young age. I was a hustler at a very, very young age. In school, I would sell t-shirts. I would buy them from eBay, sell shorts, like skinny jeans before things were even like popular, right? Before skinny jeans were popular, I'll buy them from eBay, sell them in school, people would buy them. So I always had that hustle in me. And then when I finally realized, okay, I'm gonna try this hair thing, that's why I just blew up, because I was just so passionate. I finally found something I truly love, and I was able to do the one thing I hated about myself, which was being an introvert, but use that to become an extrovert.
So basically, to fight yourself.
Exactly.
There's a moment in my life where I had, I'm not going to go into details, but it's related to my mother's death. Mm-hmm. So this is quite deep. I had a deep fear of choking with food. Okay? I had a deep fear of dying without air in my lungs. Mm-hmm. Why am I telling you this? I went to the psychologist at a certain point because I would struggle to swallow food. Like my throat would get so tight. And I didn't like that. So I went to my school psychologist and I spoke to her about it. I was like, I'm really struggling to eat. I want to fucking eat. I'm hungry, but my throat gets as tight as it could possibly be.
Was this after or before your mom passed away?
After.
Okay.
And obviously it was a fear that it was born in me and I couldn't control. And she said to me something that changed my life. And it relates to that. Every time, so fear is like a dripping sink. It's like a drip.
Yeah.
Sometimes the sink start dripping for whatever reason. Maybe it's old, maybe it's been something happened.
Yes, the pipes are off.
Something is dripping. Every time you let the fear win you, it's like opening the sink a little bit more. You loosen up. And every time you let it go, you let it go, let it go, the water starts to go. So the only way to close the sink is to fight your fear and tighten up that fear. So what's the only way? You literally have to go the other way, right? So you have to close it. If that way opens it, you have to close it. So how do you stop your fear? By doing exactly what makes you scared. Exactly.
Run towards it.
You have to run towards it. And the sink is going to stop.
Well, it's interesting because what ended up happening in my life, there was a point where that's exactly like I became bold, right? Anytime, we all know what scares us. We all know what triggers us. We all know every time we go throughout our days, there's always moments in our days that fear comes. It's guaranteed. It's guaranteed there's gonna be moments in the day where fear is gonna come. Every time those moments come, you have a decision to make. But what happens is, when you start today, let's say if someone isn't, let's say, as courageous maybe as we are, if we consider ourselves to be courageous, you start slowly. It's like these small things that affect these bigger things, right? And eventually what you realize is you're fully in control of the fear. You fully are in control of making that decision to close the sink, so to speak, right? And it does really come down to making a decision every single day on going against it. Right, so for me, it was these small little moments. It wasn't like I went on stage in front of 1,000 people and I was able to do it good, but I did it maybe in front of 2 people, 5 people, 10 people. Okay, and then I was like, okay, I have to do this, but it's like I start getting this fear. That's like, I guess, my throat gets tighter. It's like, no. It's like that's exactly where I need to be. And funny enough, every decision I made that went against my fear was always a decision that led to growth.
Correct.
Right? How many times have you done something in your life that was very scary, but if you didn't do it, you probably wouldn't be the person you are today?
Absolutely.
So the number one out of all the tips, tricks, and everything we could share, I always say your body and your mind will tell you exactly what you need to do.
That's one thing that I tell my students about content. A lot of students are scared of posting because they're scared of being judged, right? That's this fear of that guy that once said that you're shit at cutting hair finally will come and be like, ha ha, like Nelson in Simpson. Ha ha, you are shit, look, right? And the trick is actually you should take and post even if you think it's shit. Sometimes I don't like my haircuts, don't get me wrong. If I really think it's not good, especially now with the pressure of a lot of people watching what I'm doing, I'm gonna think twice on posting it. But even if it's not perfect, it's coming out. I'm posting every day. I need to. I always recommend that. Just do it. Especially when you don't have a big following, a lot of people that have expectation on you. It's so easy. Just do it. You build up your confidence, right? That's on social media, obviously.
So there was an interesting question I was going to ask you is, I lost my train of thought. It was going to be a good one. Anyways, we'll move on. But I guess what we could end this and conclude this with is, what can we expect from Andrea Amighetti? What can we expect? What's next? I mean, dude, it's genuinely, I want to end this by saying that it's incredible to see. I think you are definitely a massive inspiration to this industry. You're one of the pillars of this industry. You're like one of the backbones, the spines, the veins, whatever you want to call it. Like a lot of people, I say this to you a lot, but a lot of people are very inspired by you, and I think it's important to do that for the younger generation. And I think we're gonna see many versions of Andrea Amighetti very soon. I'm already seeing it. So you have already touched people's hearts, and I think it does come down to going against doing all the things we spoke about, going against your fear, right? Doing everything you've done up to this point to do the hard things, and you consistently do it. So what is the message for this industry? What can we expect from Andrea Amighetti? And what's next?
So I really hope to see more collaboration between all of us. Reason why I'm here today is because I see you as a reference as well. I've been from day one. You launched the academy, I was I'm on it. Yes. And I'll keep still being on it. It's support, collaboration, learning from each other, get better all together, not competition, fear of not being the best. Those negative things are not part of my journey, and I think I'm spreading it. Like when I go to my courses.
Yes, well, we've seen you collaborate with Emma.
Oh, man,
and that was
Emma,
amazing.
It became friendship now.
Right.
Proper friendship, because the guy is a sick barber, and that's the reason why we got close to each other. Because he was texting me for education, I was texting him for education. We decided let's share. I learn from you, you learn from me, and then we got to know each other. He's a super humble guy. I like people down to earth that I can joke about through my typical jokes, and we can have a laugh and have a good time and I feel like a child.
Yes.
That's how I want to feel. I want to feel like a child without worrying about whatever I have to do. Just be happy and cut hair and enjoy. And that comes when I'm aware of who I am, aware of who you are, and I'm not trying in any way to measure myself with you.
Yes.
If not, instead, I'm trying to build you up and build myself up with you and exchange positive energy. And I hope and I feel that people that like me
are resonating with that message.
Yeah, they love it.
I think it's very important. I think to conclude this as well, I think it's extremely important. I think if you collaborate more with more people, you will end up having more opportunities. And a lot of the reasons why people think like they want to be more in competition is like, no, I'm not gonna work with Amighetti. You know, I'm better than Amighetti. Is actually the fear of, and it's the thing that's actually stopping them from
Of being
growth.
second.
Yes, exactly.
No, I believe exactly quite the opposite. For instance, this year, because I haven't had much money, you heard the story.
Yes.
This year, I took the most education. For me.
For yourself.
For me. I've done loads of courses. In my career, till this year, I've done 2 days of education in my whole career. Only 2. The rest was online courses and YouTube, as you said. And I'm traveling all around the world, and I've done only 2 days of education. I said, now I've got some money now I can spend in education. I can go. There's no more excuse. So I start contacting all the barbers that I like, all of them. And by the way, it's gonna come. Don't worry, it's gonna come a collaboration between you
Yes,
and me.
yes.
And I paid them like I don't want to be like sound like, oh, now that I'm someone, I can just go and be like, hey, let's do some education.
Can I ask now? I'm
Yeah,
curious.
I have a lot of people that I like. You are on the list, by the way. I always mention you.
I'm glad. Yeah,
you're on the list.
And here's the thing: we could definitely, and from my end, I would definitely love to collaborate. I don't think it has to be an exchange of money. I think it should be an exchange of
knowledge.
I'm sure, exactly. Knowledge.
It's so fun.
Yes. Yeah,
I had the best time.
And we might actually, funny enough, we might be doing something on one of these days.
Wednesday,
maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. People
After
are saying they want to see us again. I don't know. People are saying that.
That would be cool. That would be cool. So Rav Akram, he's got a beautiful story. He's Kurdish originally. Okay. He escaped in Italy. I don't remember the situation in Kurdistan. Well, it's Turkey now.
Right.
Exactly what happened, but he had to leave for some reason. So he went in Italy. He didn't cut hair before he moved to Italy, and he started from ground zero. He's a sick barber, hairdresser, call it whatever. Sick, amazing, very good course. We check him out later on.
Yes.
I've done a course with Andrea Buluggio, Italian.
Yes.
Very nice. We had a great day. I actually hosted him in my house.
Amazing.
We
nice.
slept
You
together.
had to hang out like as friends. Let's like pass.
Yeah, because I like to take it like I want it to be
yes.
an experience. If I'm learning from you, I just want to be with you.
Let's hang out. Yeah.
Yeah. If I take you to the hotel and we take detached, it's just not real. It's just like
you want to know them as a person.
It's a overall general way of teaching that I want to learn.
What do you let me ask you this, because I'm curious. What do you think? Where do you think education is at right now in the industry? What do you think is happening in our generation right now?
So, well, in general, internet, glory to the internet. It's opening everyone's mind. Like everything is globalizing in terms of techniques.
Knowledge is being
style,
easily accessible.
Knowledge. One thing that I think is going to be real, and is what you are doing, and I hope I will be able to do very soon with the launch of the new academy, is creating community and groups and collaborate and create something more. Like, I think before people would go to a course because they needed to understand how to cut hair better than the neighbor. Now people go to see a show because they want to be surrounded by barbers and learn from each other. It's a way nicer feeling, and I think obviously the techniques, now the fashion in techniques, because I think it's fashion as well, is what is the Vidal Sassoon path of sectioning, which is fantastic. It's going to be a trend for a long time. Maybe it's just going to be the way. We don't know. Or maybe it's going to change everything. We're going to go back to clipper over comb. God knows.
Who knows? Yeah.
Still a good thing.
You never know.
You never know. But the equation that is going to change is the interaction, the human interaction, and how to be better as a person, personal growth.
And I think I want to piggyback off this. I think we're going to see a lot more, and I would love to see this, like educators getting more involved with their students. Like taking them out, like something like barber camp, but maybe not like to that style, but like going out to eat with them and being able to show people that we're the same.
Of course.
I think that's gonna be, like you said, community. I think community is.
I always do that with my student when I'm in London, because when I'm not in London, it's the rules of the organizer.
Right.
What the organizer do, I have to follow. I'm serving the organizer.
Right.
So if he tells me, Andrea, tonight we're gonna do this, dance naked on the pole.
I have to dance
dancing naked
naked.
on the pole. I'm serving him. He's paying me to do his services, so I'm gonna do it. But if I'm in London with my students, always lunch together. We start together, we finish together.
Yeah.
The whole day. Then
Love
I
that.
might tell them, hey, look, I need 15
Let's go to
minutes.
a spa together.
I need 15 minutes. I need to post.
Oh, okay.
Or we're in lunch break. Hey, bro, I'm gonna take a nap. We nap together.
Yeah.
10 minutes or something. Like, I want it to be like
Very together, yeah.
very together,
Yeah.
which is good and bad, because if you don't get on with the student, which is very rare, I'm not gonna lie, very rare,
Yeah.
but it can happen, it becomes intense.
Right.
But I have to say I've been very
You've
lucky.
never happened.
No. I've heard stories that are crazy, but I'm
You got a good group of people.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Well, I just want to end this with saying you're a massive inspiration. I think you're killing it. I can't wait to see what's next.
Likewise.
And I'm sure there's going to be a lot more collaborations between us down the line.
Of course.
Mr. Amighetti,
Give me a hug.
thank you so much, brother.
Thank you for inviting
That's
me.
a wrap, boys.
Oh, I have one more question. Why this? I really wanted to ask you.
So-
Why the Renaissance?
Yeah, so let me ask you this. Do you know who Leonardo da Vinci is? Yeah, so he actually came back from the dead, because I called him up and I was like, dude, it's been a while. I miss you. He came back from the dead. And if you actually look at the painting, like the details that he created is unbelievable. He went back to sleep, by the way. But
okay. You killed him
he
after.
came
You
back
didn't wanna
just
pay
for
him.
this. Yeah, I mean, people think it's like something like I bought or like put it on the, no, but he came back, painted this, and called it.
But why you liked it? Jokes aside.
Jokes
Why-
aside,
what was
I'm
the
very
feeling?
inspired by Roman architecture. I was very inspired when I went to Rome. I told, he just wants me to say Italians are the best.
No. You said that. I mean, we are fantastic, but we're not the best. Never.
Like my tattoos. I mean, everything is very inspired by Greek mythology, Roman cathedrals. I think eventually I'll have a full back piece that's like this, but it's classy, it's timeless, it's beautiful, and it's different. And that's what it is.
I have to tell you, I didn't like it at first.
Right.
And now I'm in love with it.
Okay.
You've been able to brand yourself really well, so much that me and James, we always get inspired from your branding.
Thank you.
Like, you are the guy we look at to get
Inspired.
better in our branding. We have our style,
Yes.
which is different from yours, but what you did with your content, which is unique, nobody thought about it, so big thumbs up. The music you're using, that's spot on.
Thank you.
Well done. That's why I wanted to ask if there was any
So yeah, Leonardo da Vinci. Yeah.
Leonardo da Vinci.
Thank you, Andrea.
Thank
I'll
you,
see you
brother.
soon, brother.
Thank you.